Okay guys, so this video basically shows you how to turn your dresser drawer into a safe. So it's locked right now. And then you press a button under here to unlock it.
To build this, you'll need some wood, a motor, and about 10 feet of wire. You'll need one of these barrel locks. You will also need 2 AA battery holders and 2 momentary button switches. We're gonna start by cutting a 5-inch piece off of our wood. Once that's cut off, we're gonna screw our lock on. Next, we're gonna make a cut about halfway down and over. Then glue the motor on so the shaft extends over the cut that we made. Next, we're gonna take this part out of this pen. We're going to drill a hole in it right there. Now we're going to glue the shaft into that hole. Now we're going to use this hanger to make a connection from the nail we just glued on to the top of our barrel lock. You want to use pliers to fold it and twist it up to add strength, and put 1 loop around the nail we just glued on and 1 loop around the bolt so that when the motor spins it locks and unlocks. After you have the hanger attached to both ends, you want to glue this end to the top of the bolt, but you don't want to glue this part on because you want it to be able to swing pretty freely. Okay, this side is glued up, and I'm going to use the back part of our pen, just cut off a little bit, and glue it right here to keep this from sliding off. Once you have this glued on, I'm going to put a piece of plastic right here to prevent this from, when it locks, slipping into those grooves and not being able to unlock again. I'm going to show you how this works just as proof of concept, but you touch these and it unlocks, and then when you switch it locks. Okay, now with our 2 battery packs, we're going to take the red wire of one of them and the black wire of one of them and solder the 2 ends together. So you don't want to cover this up or insulate it yet because we still need to attach another wire to this later. So with the other ends, we're going to attach one of the terminals of each of our momentary button switches to each end. So this one to this end and this one on this end. Once those are soldered on, we're going to take a piece of wire and attach one end to the other terminal on this switch and one end to the other terminal on this switch. Once the wires are soldered to the switches, I'm going to put hot glue on the back and wrap in electrical tape, because if these wires touch the other terminals, then the circuit won't work. Once you're done with that, you have to strip off part of the insulation to expose the wire, and then with our longer piece of wire, solder one of the ends to that point and solder the other end to the point we made earlier. So it should look something like this when you're done. Okay, I'm going to use cardboard to make a housing for all of this. Okay, so this is the housing I made out of cardboard. You want your buttons to be pretty firm, so I put a lot of glue on that, and all the wires are just tucked under these, and then this is the roof I made for it, so I'm just gonna glue that on. Alright, I'm using my dresser drawer. You could probably use a cupboard or something also, but I'm going to mount this right here, so I'm gonna have to cut down here because we want this lock to be coming out of the side. Okay, so that's what I cut out, and then this goes in like that, and this is the piece I cut out. I guess you can use what's left of it. Just screw back on like that and just cut right there. Alright, so this is what it looks like when it's all pieced together. I have the main part just screwed in, and then this board I glued on, so when this spins, that locks and unlocks. So now we're going to assemble it to our dresser. Okay, so this is the drawer. Goes in the dresser like this, and then when you click the button, it locks. Drill the hole right there on the side. So when you click the button, it locks into that hole so no one can open the drawer. Now what we need to do is get this involved. I'm going to have the buttons under the bottom of my dresser, and then the wires I'm gonna run through the back of my dresser and come out here and solder it to these two wires. So when you want to leave your dresser locked, you can, and then you click the button under there and then it'll unlock.
Okay, now that it's finished, I'll show you it in action. So as you can see, it's locked right now. But then I have the button mounted up here, so when you press it, the lock disengages and unlocks the drawer. So you can store your valuables in there, and then when you want to lock it, you just press the button again. Okay guys, thanks for watching. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe.